This looks really good.
Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I am back with a review and impressions of these augmented reality glasses from a company called Xreal. Now you guys know that I've been traveling a lot this year, spending a lot of time on airplanes and trains and automobiles, and so getting some of these AR glasses for what I do has definitely been on my radar lately. And I've been curious about wearable tech for a while now. I like using VR glasses, and so this seems right up my alley. Now I want to let you know that Xreal did send me these for review and they're sponsoring this video. However, I'm still going to give you my honest opinion about them. There's actually a lot of things that I like about them, and there's a couple things that I think that could be worked on and maybe changed in future versions of it. And to help me out with this video, I've asked Nicole and Will to also play around with them and give me their opinions as well. So let's go ahead and dive into an unboxing because there is a lot to cover here. For this video, they sent me 3 different pairs of their AR glasses. 2 of them are the standard AR2. One of them is in gray and the other one is red. And they also sent me the Pro version as well. And they included an optional accessory called the Xreal Beam, which radically changes how this thing works. Now, you may have heard of these before under another name called Xreal. Now, they changed the name of their company to Xreal as they expanded across the globe. So just be aware if you're looking up previous reviews, you may see the name Xreal, but the name of the company now and the website is xreal.com. Basically, the idea of these AR glasses is to have a massive HD screen right in front of your eyeballs at all times. And this really appeals to me because I've been traveling so much lately, and while I do have a handheld with me, if I'm spending a lot of time on an airplane, it is kind of neck straining to have to look down for hours at a time at a small, portable screen. And so this is a way of basically getting a massive screen in front of your eyeballs and hopefully not getting some of that neck strain. I'm unboxing the Air2 Pros first, and so keep in mind that there is a regular and a Pro version. And as you can see here, they look like regular sunglasses you would buy at the store, but of course they have these little screens in there. The standard Air2 glasses cost $400, and the Pro model, which I'm showing you right here, is $450. Picking these up for the first time, I noticed just how light they are. They come in at around 75 grams.
I have to agree, I like how light they are.
Yeah.
They're comfortable. I kind of forget I'm wearing them pretty quickly.
It's important to understand that in order to keep the weight down, these do not have a battery in them. They actually don't have their own power at all. Instead, you need to get power from the USB-C cable and whatever you connect these to. Some devices do support power over USB-C, like my Steam Deck or my iPad, and some things don't, like the Switch. But don't worry, they actually have a solution for that, and I'm going to get into it in a little bit. Let's talk about the screens that are included in here. They're using the latest micro OLED panels from Sony, and they have a resolution of 1080p per eye. And I have to tell you, and it's really hard to capture this on video, but they look fantastic. The colors and the sharpness, I was actually very impressed. Again, I wish I could show you how good this looks because it really did surprise me. But as you can imagine, it's really hard to capture this for a video. They also support a refresh rate of up to 120 Hertz, and they go up to 500 nits of brightness. And they do have 3 adjustment settings so that you can get the perfect viewing angle. And here's where I want to talk about the Air2 Pro because it has a really unique feature that'll allow you to adjust 3 levels of dimming of the glasses. You see Nicole here pushing that button, and you can clearly see it dimming to almost black. It's actually really impressive. If you don't get the Pro model, you'll have to use that plastic snap-on to block your vision. Now, this may seem unnecessary since all of these come with plastic blockers anyways, and they snap on and off fairly easily. However, I can tell you that after using these for a couple weeks now, it's really nice to be able to just push a button and instantly switch back and forth and be able to see through the lenses whenever you want to. So for instance, if I'm sitting on the couch and I want to, reach over and grab a drink, I don't have to pull anything off my face. I can just push a button and see through them, grab my drink or my snack, and then instantly dim it again and then I'm right back to gaming. And I could see this really handy on a plane too, because, you know, stewardess will come by at random moments and take your order or ask you if you want a snack or something to drink. Again, you can very quickly just push a button, see her, you know, engage with her, grab the drink, and then you're right back into gaming. So is it necessary? Probably not, but it's very nice. Also, the sound system in here is very good. You know, I'm kind of picky when it comes to sound. I definitely like a lot of dynamic range because I listen to music or I'm playing video games and I want to, you know, I want something that sounds halfway decent. And I got to say, these actually sound very good. And the way that the speakers are designed into the glasses, they're way more private than you would expect. It must have something to do with where the speakers are positioned over your ears, because someone sitting next to you doesn't hear a lot of audio bleed. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Xreal Beam accessory. So this is $120, and essentially what it does is open up a bunch of new features and also support for other systems. Like I mentioned, these glasses do not have a battery in them, and so they need to get power from USB-C. This little iPod looking device adds that support and a bunch more. For instance, if you want to use the Nintendo Switch, well, you got to use this device because this has a battery in it, and essentially what happens is you plug your Switch into it, and the Switch now thinks it's docked. So it'll take that Switch video signal and then output it to the glasses. And the Switch looks and plays great through this. I played a ton of Super Mario Bros. Wonder on this. The one caveat with the Switch is that, again, it thinks it's docked. That's how it's getting the video out, right? And when you use the Switch docked, well, you obviously can't use the Joy-Cons that way. So you do have to detach them from the Switch when you play this way, or just use a Switch Pro controller. It's not a big deal, but I wanted to mention it. And of course, the Beam also works with your other consoles as well. So for instance, I used it with my Xbox Series X. It works with the PlayStation 5. You can use it with your PC or Mac too. But that's not all that the Beam does. It also will let you do screencasting or screen mirroring if you have your smartphone, and it doesn't necessarily support video out through USB-C. Well, you can just wirelessly send the video to this, and then that will send it to the glasses. But probably my favorite feature of this little Beam accessory is the fact that you can stabilize the image. Basically what this does is let you anchor the video image and make it more stable. And I gotta tell you, this is actually really nice because if you don't use the Beam, let's say you're gonna use the Steam Deck to play games, you know, you don't need this, right? But essentially, it'll always have the screen wherever you happen to be looking. And to be quite honest, it can make you a little motion sick because as you're playing game, you're moving your head around. Well, the Beam allows you to stabilize that. So with this plugged in and turned on, well, that screen is stable now. It's like in a fixed, you know, 3D position in front of your head. And so you can move around and it's a much more natural feeling. It's like when you're really looking at a television. It's got a couple different modes. So I mentioned body anchor, which again, anchors it in 3D space, but then you've also got smooth follow. What that does is it'll follow the glasses, but it adds a little bit of lag to it. So again, cuts down on that motion sickness. And you can adjust how big or small you want that display to be, which again is really good for people who have to deal with motion sickness. So if you're playing a very intense game like a first-person shooter or a racing game, having these options, you're gonna be able to dial it in so, you know, it doesn't make you puke. As you can tell, I've been really surprised with my experience with these glasses, mostly just playing a bunch of games on the Steam Deck and also the Switch over the last couple weeks. However, there are two things I would love to see improved in next generations of this product. The first one being the viewing angle. So it takes up about 46 degrees of your vision. It's really hard to describe unless you actually try these on. It's not taking up your entire vision. And the reason why I say that I want more of it is because honestly, the screen and the experience is so good. Like, it's so crisp. And to give you an idea what I'm talking about, if you think of yourself sitting in your living room on the couch looking up at your HD television, and then think about how much of that vision your HD television is taking up. It's usually taking up, you know, maybe half of it or whatever. But trust me, if you had the option, you would move that TV closer to you probably and make it bigger, right? And so that's kind of what I'm talking about here, because I want it to be even bigger. I want it to basically take up my entire view. Now, I don't know how many degrees that would have to be, but again, I do feel like since 99% of the time you're sitting with those glasses on and they're completely dark anyways, just have it take over my entire vision. I mean, I think that would be awesome. And the other thing is, I really feel like the beam accessory is almost essential for this device. But in using it, it starts to feel kind of like a jumble of wires and connections, and it's just not as elegant of a solution as I would like. And again, you don't need the beam for every device. Obviously, like I said, the Steam Deck, the iPad, they work without it, but I personally really like how it would anchor the display. It just made it way more comfortable, and it would be cool if it was just built into the glasses somehow. The other thing about the beam is that it does introduce a small amount of latency, and they mentioned that on their website, but honestly, I couldn't really tell, and I was playing a bunch of racing games and arcade style games, but if you're gonna use this competitively, yeah, you'd probably want to take it into consideration. And like I said, the standard Air 2 glasses will cost you $400, but if you want to upgrade to the Pro model and get that dimming button there, which I think is pretty cool, that's $450. And the beam accessory is $120. So if you go all in on this, yeah, it's going to be a commitment, but you know, it's also a television that you wear on your face, right? And you can use it, especially if you get the accessory, you can use it with pretty much most of the handhelds and iPads and phones that you probably have. I know for me, I've actually used this quite a bit in the last couple weeks. I've used it a ton because, again, if Rebecca is using the television, but I still want to be in the same room and kind of engage with her, but also play my own games, it's pretty convenient. And I absolutely will take this with me when I travel. On a plane, this thing is going to be awesome. To not only just be able to watch videos, but also, again, play games and not get neck strain. So anyways, guys, I would love to know what you think about devices like this. It is really cool to see all of this wearable technology just getting better and better every single year. So yeah, I dig it. I'm a fan of this type of stuff, and it's going to be really curious to see where it goes from here. So anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and take care.